there's one thing I can be relied on to do, it is be a freak at the cemetery. I did not anticipate this mud, and so I did not wear my trail runners. I hope you know that I am suffering through the discomfort for my viewers. Hello everyone, happy almost New Year. It is a very unseasonably warm day here. It's like in the 50s in December, hashtag global warming. So I'm coming at you live from a shelter by a trail near my apartment. And I thought today I'd do a little bit of a reflection on 2022, how this past year went, and looking ahead to 2023. I am a big fan of New Year review, maybe not so much resolutions, maybe more of intention setting, but I like that it's a good time to reflect on how the past year went, kind of see what was good, what was not so good, where there's room to improve. I like it because it balances out with my birthday in the summer, so I get like a mid-year checkpoint, end-of-year checkpoint, just to make sure things are, just to check in, see where things are going. If anyone else is an introspective, analytical, crazy person like me, you'll certainly relate. I fill out digitally. The past couple years, I filled out digitally Year Compass. I found that it's really useful. It's free to download. You can just, I'll probably drop in the link in the description or something, where it asks you pretty extensively, like prompts for reflection and journaling on what the past year meant for you and what you're looking ahead to in the next year. 2022 for me was kind of it was a weird year. 2021 was full of extremely wild life changes. Like January 2021, I had just graduated college. I was living in my college apartment with 4 roommates. I was working like a part-time internship and then retail, like 24 hours a week, which was like a whole disaster. And then at the end of the year, at the end of 2021, I was in Pittsburgh, first full-time job, new apartment, new roommate, new friends, across state lines from all of my family. It was like a very big change and a hard adjustment. And I think 2022 was no external life changes, but a lot of internal life changes. So it was a year of like settling in. So finally feeling a little more comfortable with myself. I turned 23, which is still very young, but also not in like the 18 to 22 age bracket. So I finally felt a little bit like I knew what I was doing. I'll just cover, a couple highlights of the year. Actually, starting this YouTube channel was one of the highlights, and a lot of my favorite parts of the year are captured on this channel. Obviously, my trip to Scotland and London in February, which was a little bit disastrous, but overall I'm really glad I did. That was first time I had traveled overseas since COVID, and that was a pretty wild time overall. And then of course running my half marathon in the end of April. Even though I didn't get to the full marathon distance, running the half was still really fun, and I had overall a really, really good time training for it, and that helped a lot with getting me used to the city and feeling more comfortable. I also, my brother visited and stayed the summer with me from his break in college. Not my apartment, but just in the city, which was so nice since me and my siblings are really close, but obviously we live states away from each other. I visited New York City, visited a college friend. I went to DC twice for the first time in my adult life, both times with my girlfriend, which was really fun. I went to Acadia, my first national park. I camped a little bit. That was a blast. I made a new friend group with people I'm like really close with now. And one of those friends introduced me to climbing, which I'd been wanting to try for a while. And I am actual climber now, which is really cool. Another highlight is I got my first tattoo, which was super, super fun. My first friend got married, so I was able to go to her wedding, and yeah, those were some like really big highlights for me that I really enjoyed. And beyond just like the external things, I think overall this year I've been growing a lot emotionally, which sucks. If anyone here is in the early 20s, I'm sorry, but like emotional damage up to here, and we're just like sorting through that, I guess. So like going to therapy and like walking around the woods and journaling all the time and figuring out like what I care about and what I want out of life. Had a lot of that this year, like a lot of journaling, a lot of crying, a lot of wandering in the woods and in random places, and reading books. I read so many books that were really great. So a lot happened. There's also some stuff that I didn't really enjoy so much. I think I've come like leaps and bounds with like working on like being compassionate towards myself and like mental health, and focusing a lot on my hobbies and my social life and friendships, which I am overall really happy with. I think I am like overall this past year, I'm not thrilled with where I'm at in my work life. Although I am still like so early in my career, so it really is just like entry-level blues, but those entry-level blues are bluesing, let me tell you. And I think this year I started making gains against it, but I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I can be kind of results oriented instead of like process oriented, and I kind of just drive myself really, really hard, and cause a lot more suffering that I didn't need to be feeling. So those are kind of like the flop areas for me. But overall, it was a pretty good year. Definitely better than like, it was a good year. Mixed bag, good year. We'll see how this next year goes. Overall for 2023, I don't set resolutions. I just kind of set general goals where I'd like to see myself at the end of the year. They're not SMART goals. I don't hold myself to them really hard. Just kind of a guideline of kind of where I want to focus my energy. In 2023, I want to, written in here, I want to take more risks, do things that scare me and expand my comfort zone, embrace where I am in the process instead of rejecting it or forcing myself to move faster through something that I need to spend more time in, and also staying aligned with what I actually want to do, and saying no to opportunities that aren't really opportunities. They're just kind of more weights on me. So at a glance, those are kind of what I found to focus on. And more specifically, I really, really loved how much I focused on my hobbies this past year. Like just focusing on my, travel and like athletic focuses. So I do have a couple areas where I want to continue in the hobby realm. I do want to, in terms of like sports and athletic stuff, since this is what this channel's focuses on really, I love to run another half marathon, and I'd love to run under 2:30. I'm a slow runner, we all know this. My past two halves were like around the 2:44, 2:45 area, so that would be like a significant jump. So who knows if I'll be able to do that. That'll be shaving like a minute off even my mile time, but yeah, we'll see. Who knows? I'm not getting any younger, so might as well try. I'd also love to run a full marathon, which I still have never done. More than why I want to run a full marathon though, I want to run 24 miles on my 24th birthday. So I have until mid-July to work up to 24 miles. So that is a big goal of mine. Along with that, for kind of travel goals, I want to go on an overnight backpacking or camping trip of some kind. I love visiting Acadia and tent camping for 2 nights. I'd love to go to another national park and stay a couple nights. I've lived near the Appalachian Trail my entire life, and I've never even set foot on it. So I'd love to do something like that. I haven't been on a proper backpacking trip since like freshman year of college, and that was just for 1 night. So I'd love to do 1 night backpacking trip. I'd love to tent camp again. I just want one like solid dedicated trip like that. And I'd also like to visit another country. If I can fit in international travel, I'd love to do that. And I'd also like to visit a new American city. This past year I visited New York City, I visited DC, but I've been to both those places before. New York City I've been to like many times, but I'd love to go to Chicago or Savannah or another city I've never been to. I have some other, goals / plans for the year ahead. Not really stuff I talk about on this channel really, but I'd like to, I have some like career goals that I like to, like skills I like to develop, things I like to move forward in. I'd also plan on buying a car this year by the end of the year, which is, I have a decent amount of money saved, but one of my goals was to achieve a positive net worth, which I'm very close to. But the bulk of the cash I have on hand is earmarked for a car. So when I get the car, a positive net worth will be quite far away, but I will be 1 car richer, so give and take. But I do want to buy a car this year, like fully in my own name, so that will be a big step. And I also want to develop some kind of volunteering or like community club / board involvement. My roommate's actually very inspiring. She is super involved in like local politics and like local like community organizations. I am not so much. I like to think I have a decent community from like social life and through work. I know a lot of local organizations, but I don't have like a local give back kind of focus in my life, and that's important to me. So I'd like to focus on that a little bit more. And I would also like to focus more on creative hobbies. I love vlogging and video editing, which is super fun and definitely like an extension of that. For the vast majority of my life, my main hobby focus has been like creative works and art. I love to write. I like collaging. I made a lot of zines in high school. I am not bad at drawing. I'm actually pretty good at drawing. I just haven't done it in years, I think. For a long time, theater was a big part of my life. And over the past couple years, it's just totally fallen by the wayside and not really something I'm involved in at all, which is weird because it was such a big part of my life for so long. And I do get a lot of creative fulfillment from my job, so I don't feel the need as much to do it on my own time, but I do also feel the lack of I have like that avenue for my personal creative expression. So I'd like to incorporate that more into my life, even if it's just something like taking a drawing class or a fiber arts class, or doing collaging or multimedia art at my own time. Yeah, that's another area I'd like to improve in. I also would like to continue like a lot of the internal examination, like kind of focusing I've been doing on like a lot of what I value and figuring out what is actually me and what is just what I've thought I wanted to do, but what I don't actually want to do, and kind of figuring that out. Yeah. I can't lie. Again, like I said, I know 23 is like super, super young, but I also feel like my mid-20s are like fast approaching, and I feel this internal pressure to like figure everything out and know exactly what I want to do in my life. But that's not realistic, and that will never happen. So big intention for the year is embrace the process and meet myself where I'm at. So yeah, that is my haphazard goal check-in. There's a nice sunset coming, but you can't see it. So yeah, thank you for listening to my rant. I don't know if I made any sense because I'm just going off the cuff. And let me know what your intentions are for 2023. What will this year mean for you? So I hope you all have a happy new year. I will be celebrating at a party and then getting delicious brunch the next day. So that is my plan. But yeah, I guess I'll see you later. Bye.